Hi everybody, my name's Jason.
I'm Caden.
I'm Jaden.
And we are the Yahuwah and the Torah channel, and we thank you guys very, very much for hanging out with us. And we are doing yet another segment. We are doing another reading that we are doing with all of you. And for those who do not know anything about the Yahuwah and the Torah channel, we are those people who believe that the laws, statutes, and commandments of Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, which they call the Torah, are good for all generations. They are good for every person. They are good for every being. They are good for anybody who wants to find this kingdom road that most of us, well, a lot of us are seeking. And that kingdom road is filled with all sorts of treachery. The kingdom road is filled with all sorts of things that we have been told we need to watch out for. We are told that most don't make this tiny little narrow gate, and we are told that it is a difficult road to go. Now, gentlemen, how are you guys doing?
Good.
Tell me a little bit about, because this is a new segment, so we'll actually pick up new people that we didn't pick up on any others. And as we go through the new segments, we grab people and hopefully we can catch their interest. Now, what do you guys, well, actually, first of all, tell me a little bit about Jesus the Christ and who do we believe he is, and how do we address him, or how do we address his name?
Well, his name is Yahushua HaMashiach. That is his original name. There were no J's in Hebrew, and there was no the Christ because that was all Greek.
Okay, and so why do we call him Yahushua and not Jesus?
Because he was a Hebrew man. That was a Hebrew name. In Hebrew, that means salvation. So we use his name as Yehoshua HaMashiach, which would be for those people who know him as Jesus the Christ. But that's not the correct translation. It's closer to Joshua than it would be Jesus.
Yeah, and who do we call his father? And do we believe that the Father and the Son are the same entity?
No, they are two complete separate people. There is a father and a son. We call the father Yahuwah. Yahuwah Elohim. It is not the Lord your God. It is not God or Lord. It is Yahuwah Elohim.
How do we know that Yahuwah is one and not two? That he and his son don't share deity?
He says many times, he goes, I am Yahuwah, your Elohim. I am one.
Okay, all right, so let's get into this. This is the book of Yaakov, and we are going to read this, and we are going to try to figure this out. Now, the very first thing I want to do is see if any of you can define for me what the world says are works. What do you guys think works are? What does the world define works as? Kate?
The world defines probably something that's like physical labor.
Yep. And Eli, you're looking on this one. I'm actually asking you to do this. So.
I just kind of saw it, so I sat down.
Yeah, you sound real tired. How come you're so late?
I'm tired.
Did you get out of bed late?
A little bit.
A little slow to the table here. That's all right. Maybe. Okay, so here we are. So this is what the world says works are. It's there's either a verb or a noun. The works is be engaged in physical or mental activity in order to achieve a result. Do work. Of a machine or a system is to operate or function, especially properly or effectively, actively involving mental or physical effort. So that is what works are. Now, another meaning of works is activity in which one exerts strength or faculties to do or perform something. All right, now, what exactly are works? Right before us, in front of us, we have what we have as the laws of our Creator, which are the greatest things ever, and you will be blessed by them or you will also be cursed by them. But the very first commandment is to be fruitful. Now, if we're looking at works, what are we dealing with this one commandment? If we're told to be fruitful and works are what we're trying to do, now how do we define what good works are and what bad works are, gentlemen?
Good works are helping people, doing what Yahuwah commands us to do. Bad works are hurting people and attacking people and doing what the devil wants to do.
Yeah, so when we say works, when it says be fruitful, are there works to being fruitful?
Yes.
Okay, when it says to multiply, are there works to multiplying?
Yeah.
And so if we abort our babies or we kill off our babies, those works would be evil, right? Because we would not be multiplying, we would be killing off our our babies. Now, when it says master sin, which is commandment number 7, what are the works of mastering sin, and what does that look like when we don't master sin?
It would be abiding by the Torah, living by the Torah. That's how you would master sin.
Right, and what are the works? How would those works look in your life? How would we observe somebody who's keeping the Torah? How do we observe them using their works to see if their fruits are bearing good fruit?
You see how they live. Are they wearing tzitzits? Are they eating pork? How is their form of speech?
Right. There would be a lot of that. Right. And so our works, a lot of people, the Christians will say, well, works are not going to get you to heaven. They clearly do not understand what works are. Now, will helping an old lady across the street ensure you have salvation?
No, I'm sure it will give you a blessing somewhere along the line, because in a return from Yah, but it's not going to get you salvation.
So works are what exactly? Works would be considered actions of keeping a set of guidelines? Would that be fair?
I would say yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let's continue on. Let's see what Jacob has to say on all of this. We will begin with our handy dandy split screen. And we're not there. And my Sephir's dying, and we're there. All right. Thank you. All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. And for anyone who has never again heard any of our stuff out there, this will be the first of a 5-series section, because there's 5 chapters in James. And so we're going to go through 1 chapter a day, and we'll try to go through this. Now, gentlemen, let's discuss this. Many people, James is in the New Testament. The Christians have the New Testament, but yet they refuse James just like they refuse Messiah Yahushua. And when I say that, I'm not saying that as something very bad. When people refuse Messiah Yahushua, when you refuse the Torah, you're refusing our Messiah. Our Messiah walked the Torah, and he said you should walk it, and he says that he does the will of his Father. And so this is what we are having to understand. Verse 1. Jacob, a servant of Yahuwah and of the Adon Yahushua, Hamashiach, to the 12 tribes who are in dispersion, greetings. Hey, who's that? Who's he talking to?
We are the 12 tribes. We are the people of Israel. We can be grafted in. We can be those people if we choose to follow the laws, statutes, and commandments.
Now, that was very quick, and that was very to the point, exact, Jade. But for a lot of people out there, they do not know who Yashrael is. Most people out there are hooked into a religion, and there's 65,000 plus religions. Every single religion has doctrines of men, and every single religion has gone astray from the laws, statutes, and commands of our Creator. And one of them is Deuteronomy 4:2, where it says, do not add to or do not take away to the Torah. And so when we add in Sunday worshiping as our Sabbath day, that is doctrines of men, and that is evil in the sight of our Creator. Now, here we are. This is to you guys, right? He is writing this letter to you because we are the 12 tribes. We are the tribes who are lost. We are dispersed right now. We are coming out of captivity, and we are on our way into the kingdom road, hopefully. Okay, verse 2. My brothers, count it all joy when you fall into various trials, knowing that the proving of your belief works endurance. Okay, I want to spend some time on this book, boys. What do you got? It says, brothers, count it all joy when you fall into various trials, knowing that the proving of your belief works endurance. Now, out here in the middle of the jungle, we have a tremendous amount of trials. We have a lot of trials to keep animals alive. We have a lot of trials to keep ourselves alive. We have a lot of trials to keep food anywhere in this house. There is just a tremendous amount of trials. Now, right now, one of our trials is empty fridges. We don't have a lot of food. The boys keep going to the fridge. Open the fridge, there's nothing in the fridge. I go to the fridge, open the fridge. That's what we do all day long. We are during one of these drought periods in our world where it feels to me like it is a trial. But we have been in these trials before. We have been without food for a while, and it always feels super good at some point whenever the fridge gets full. And so that's one of the trials we are going right now, that as we go through I'm not saying famine, but as we go through lack of food and lack of things that it takes to keep the family alive, we are falling into trials. And so this is what it is. And so how is it that the proving of your belief works endurance? What does he mean by that?
Like the testing of your faith will basically make you stronger.
Yeah, and endurance is your ability to go the distance, your ability to continue on, because many people out there struggle day after day. Many people have a lot of trials, a lot of tribulations, a lot of problems. And it feels like we're always being tested. And sometimes it feels like we're tested beyond what we can take. But James is talking right here that when we fall into these trials, that when we are patient with this, that's where our works are being shown. Okay, 4. And let endurance have a perfect work, so that you be perfect and complete, lacking in naught. Okay, thoughts? Anyone? Let your endurance have a perfect work. Okay, what does that say? If we're enduring, what is in the endurance, right? That is our test of longevity. How long are we able to take a certain situation without folding, without collapsing, without going down, right? And so we let our endurance, the test of time, have patience, right? The patience that we're looking for, so that when we have this patience, when we understand that we are in trials and tribulations, and we have to be patient, because sometimes we don't walk right out of trials and tribulations. Not every morning is a day that all of our troubles are gone. Okay, 5. If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of Elohim, who gives to all generously and without reproach, and it shall be given to him. Okay, Kate?
Well, it says we just need to ask Elohim for wisdom, and he'll just give it to us. He will give us wisdom if we ask.
Yeah, and where else do we have this in Scriptures?
Proverbs.
Yeah. And so wisdom is one of these things that we have been told we have the ability to ask for, and we can have it given to us. And is there a way that we could have wisdom taken from us?
I think if we weren't following the Torah, if we weren't obeying the laws, he might not be blessed with wisdom. He might be blessed with blindness or something else.
Did Solomon stay wise all his years?
I feel like he didn't. He went astray. He wasn't wise. That's not wisdom when you're following other Elohim.
Yeah, and so wisdom can probably be taken away as well. 6. But he should ask in belief, not doubting. For he who doubts is like a wave of the sea, driven and tossed by the wind. Okay, we've been out in the ocean before, right? The waves are pretty wild, right? He's saying that when you ask, if you doubt is like a wave going back and forth, right? To and fro. And it's a bad thing. And many people live in disbelief. They do not have faith. And I will tell you that I have faith in my Creator. I have faith in his Son. I believe everything spiritual and supernatural that I can't see is with us. And when you have that kind of faith, and you don't need it, it's not blind faith that I have. I look around at creation. I look at the sunrise. I look at the birds outside. I look at the papaya trees, and I look at the beautiful everything that is out there. And I understand that things are not created without a creator. I look at the ways my dogs move about, and the amazing abilities, and the just the crazy build that our animals have, and there is a creator. So it's not like you're blind without faith. Creation is all around us. It's as simple to find your creator by looking around, looking at the creation itself. Okay, 7. For that man should not think that he shall receive whatever from the Adon. He is a double-minded man, unstable in all his ways. Okay, so we're talking about somebody who is, first of all, double-minded, right? If you're double-minded and you have a lack of faith, right? And then it talks about that man should not think that he shall receive whatever from Adon. He is a double-minded man, unstable in all his ways.
So when you ask, you must believe that you will receive. You can't be like, I probably won't receive it. If you have any doubt in your heart that maybe Elohim exists, anything like that.
Right, but what happens if we don't receive what we ask for prayers?
Then it wasn't the will of Yahuwah. Whatever we ask has to be the will of Yahuwah, and I think asking for wisdom is in the will of Yahuwah.
Absolutely. 9. And let the lowly brother boast in his exaltation, but the rich in his humiliation, because as a flower of the field he shall pass away. So this is like a example of rich versus poor in this kind of a world, right? The rich people, they even go to their death being rich, right? But as the poor people, you're not supposed to boast. And actually it does, it says lowly, let him boast in his exaltation. What do you guys make of that?
Boast in your poorness and boast in your nothingness.
Yeah, let the brother of low degree rejoice in that he is exalted, right? And exalted mean that we have something, right? we may not have everything and we may lack some things, but it's not things of life, right? We have everything that we need for life. We have the Torah, we have our Messiah, we have our Creator, we have a path to the kingdom. And so, the rich, it's crazy. It talks about the rich and his humiliation, because as a flower in the field, he shall pass away. And, you talk to any rich people and they're fighting for their life. They're fighting for, eternity. They even have guys like Elon Musk who want to take their conscience and put it into a machine and live in a machine forever. So go at it. Okay, 11. For the sun rose with burning heat and withered the grass, and his flower fell, and his pretty appearance perished. So also the rich man shall fade away in his ways. Okay, that's a hardcore lesson, right, to the rich people, right? If it talks about the sun, the burning heat, withered grass, all of these things. It's talking about a death or a way that the rich man is going to go, right? And the rich man will fade away. And, Messiah has talked about it. It's easier for a camel to get through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to inherit the kingdom. And so we have to be very, very careful when it comes to money, because people seem to worship money more than Elohim, Most High. Okay, 12. Baruch is the man who endures trial, for when he has been proved, he shall receive the crown of Kai, which the Adon has promised to those who love him. Okay, this is very important, right? What do you guys make of this?
If you endure trial, you get blessed and you receive a crown of life. So endure the trial and you will be blessed.
Yeah, and it says you're proved, right? But to get proved, what is it you have to do to be proved?
Take a test.
Right, and you're going to endure the trial. You have to get through this stuff, and when you toss your hands up in the air and you give up and you curse our Elohim, or you blame him for stuff, when it's more than likely Hasatan that is completely having his way with you, that's the wrong blame. We don't need to be blaming our Creator. He's not doing that to us. 13. Let no one say when he is enticed, I am enticed by Elohim. For Elohim is not temptable by evil, and he entices no one. Okay, so what do we make of this right here?
So people will say, oh, Elohim has tempted me, or Elohim has made me do this. Well, Elohim doesn't make you do anything evil, and he doesn't entice you. He doesn't want them to do evil. He doesn't tempt them.
Who does? If it's not Elohim, who does?
Well, Hasatan.
Hasatan. And we know that from the book of Job, right? Where Hasatan came and he basically threw Job under the bus. Okay, 14. But each one is enticed when he is drawn away by his own desires and trapped. Okay, what's it talking about here? Your own desires and trapped.
So people, their earthly desires, they get trapped by their own earthly desires.
Yeah, what they want, and then they get trapped. How do you get trapped? What does that mean?
Trapped by sin, trapped by evil,
yeah,
trapped by Hasatan.
Yeah, you're not mastering sin, you're getting owned. 15. Then, when desire has conceived, it gives birth to sin. And sin, when it has been accomplished, brings forth death. Okay, let's talk about that real quick.
So basically it takes desire. Once you have a desire for something and it's evil, it can go to sin, and then sin leads to death, because sin is death.
Yeah, absolutely. And if nothing else, it'll bring forth a spiritual death. 16. Do not go astray, my beloved brothers. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of lights, with whom there is no change, nor shadow of turning. Having purposed it, he brought us forth by the word of truth, for us to be a kind of first fruits of his creatures. All right, let's talk about that. So how are we a first fruits of his creatures?
We are the first. We are his creatures. We can be his first fruits, and then we're supposed to give back to Yahuwah with first fruits. So he's saying we should give ourselves back to Yahuwah as we are the first fruits.
Do you think that there is another earth and there's other people?
I don't.
Somewhere else?
I don't think so.
You don't think anywhere? If they were first fruits of his creatures, if he had another...
I think creatures means all animals, all this stuff. I think humans are like...
So we wouldn't be the first fruits if there was another... there was another creation somewhere else.
I don't know. I guess we'd have to see.
Anyone have any thoughts on that?
Don't think so.
Okay. All right. Yeah, things we don't know. We have absolutely no idea. But we do venture off into thought here quite often. 19. So then, my beloved brothers, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath, for the wrath of man does not work righteousness of Elohim. Wow. Boys, thoughts?
Yep.
Well, yeah, you guys don't want to even discuss this, huh?
It's good, you know.
Let every man be swift to hear. What does that mean?
You gotta
Quick to hear.
Yep. Okay. Slow to speak.
That's self-explanatory.
And slow to wrath.
All self-explanatory.
Okay. So how should that look? You should have your fingers over your mouth so you can't talk. You should have like a couple of cups in your ear, and what you hear, you're not supposed to get angry about. How often does that happen in this house
A lot.
with you guys? Are you
A
guys
lot.
are you guys swift to hear and slow to speak and slow to wrath, or is it completely opposite amongst brotherhood?
Oh, it's probably opposite.
It's probably opposite here, and I don't know if anyone else has families out there with kids on that. But this is a thing for every single person in this house, especially me. I might have my fingers pointing at my boys here, but there's always four fingers pointing back to myself as well when I point like that. Okay, for the wrath of man does not work righteousness of Elohim. Therefore, put away all filthiness and overflow of evil, and receive with meekness the implanted word, which is able to save your lives. Okay, what is the overflow of evil? Okay, the filthiness and overflow of evil.
That'd be the sin. It'd be doing against the Torah. It'd be going against the Torah.
And what is the implanted word?
that has to be the word of Yahuwah.
Yeah, the implanted word. There's no other word. The word of Yah. And 22. And become doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving yourselves. Oh, this says become doers of the word, and not hearers only. So the word is what, Eli?
The Torah.
Right. And so James says you need to become a doer of the word. What does that doer of the word look like?
Who keeps the Torah.
Someone who keeps the Torah, someone who follows the laws, someone who is taking the day off on Shabbat, someone who is following the feast days.
If you keep Easter, are you a doer of the word?
And then you're doing it in the world. That is paganism.
If you keep Thanksgiving, are you a doer of the word?
That's not commanded in the words, or no.
No. And so we need to become doers of the word. Now, what happens if we do part of the word? What happens if we keep all of our Creator's appointed times, but then we still keep Easter, Christmas, and all the rest of them because our family does as well? That
means we're not fully committed to Yahuwah. We are doing things of the world as paganism, and we're also bringing that into Yahuwah. So that's what a lot of people do. They bring it into their things like, well, I believe God, and then they go and do all these things with the world.
So would you say that's deceiving yourself?
Yes.
Okay, yep. And so become doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving yourselves. Because if anyone is a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like a man who looks at his natural face in the mirror, for he looks at himself and goes away and immediately forgets what he was like. All right, so here we are. So if you are a hearer of the word and you don't do it, so you know that you're supposed to keep seventh day Sabbath and you don't do it, then it's like a person who's looking at your natural face in the mirror and you forget what you look like. Is that a good thing that you forget what you look like?
That's probably a bad thing. I mean, you're looking at yourself in the mirror.
Yeah, I mean, how would you you don't even remember what you look like, right? So we need to be hearers and doers of the word. So we're not like this guy. 25. But he that looked into the perfect Torah, that of freedom, and continues in it, not becoming a hearer that forgets, but a doer of work, this shall be Baruch in his doing. Now, the Christians will go, you know what, this is it. They looked into that perfect Torah. Then they want that freedom. Then they see it. They take two words right here. Does any of this right here say that the law, statutes, and commands of our Creator are gone or are on the cross or we shouldn't be doing them?
No.
In fact, it's quite opposite, right? It continues on right here. And he says that if you are not becoming a hearer that forgets, but a doer, that one shall be blessed in his doing. This is what James is saying. If you are not keeping the laws, statutes, and commands of our Creator, you are not part of the kingdom. So that's why you want to do that. You want to become part of the kingdom. 26. If anyone among you thinks he is religious and does not bridle his tongue, but deceives his own heart, this one's religion is worthless. Now, I won't toss you guys under the bus here. We'll keep it here with brother love. And I'll pray every day that you guys get better at this and love each other. And do bridle your tongues, as well as myself. 27, cling an undefiled religion before the Elohim and Father is this: to visit orphans and widows in their affliction, to keep oneself unstained from the world. All right, so the final part of this thing right here says that we are supposed to take care of the orphans and widows in their affliction. Why would he wrap this up and say this?
Because he would say that because that's what our mission was, right? Was to go to the broken. That's where the people need the most saved, is the people that are broken.
Yeah, and we are told to love those who are broken. We are told to take care of them. We're told to take care of the widows and the fatherless and those who need help. And that is what the Scriptures is all about. It's about loving our neighbor as ourselves. It's about loving, and it's actually, we're supposed to be loving our neighbors more than ourselves. And that is really what Scriptures is all about. And that is a hard thing in this world where we have waxed completely cold. All right, gentlemen, I think that's about it. You guys got anything else? Anything on James? Any kind of wisdom? Anything?
Nope. Tonight is Sirach.
Yep, tonight is live Sirach. We will be doing the Ecclesiasticus. And so we will see you guys tonight. For anyone who wants to show up, we'll be live. It is, 7 o'clock our time?
7 o'clock Eastern.
7 o'clock Eastern time. So hopefully we will see you guys there. And if not, we love you guys, and we will see you guys tomorrow morning.
All right. Shalom.
Shalom.